Okay, so what's up, everyone? Watching day 2 of the draft. Um, so I'm gonna talk about from the year like '07 to '09 in the county, and I'm gonna be talking about Danny Boy from ESWilmas and Puppy from Lennox. Both of them locked it up, and Puppy is Cyclone or Cycle from Culver City's Crane. They're cousins. So I'm talking about like '07 to like '09, right? Um, Puppet and Cycle, they've been down since like '96, 95. I know them for my first term. Uh, Puppet from Lennox, I don't know if anybody knows who he is, but he's real intimidating, you know. He's real cut up, about 6 foot, long hair, like braids, uh, no facial hair. He looks like a straight Indian, and he's real serious, you know. He's real serious. He doesn't really play around, doesn't really joke or nothing. David Robles. So he was a legend in Lennox at one time. I think they wrote a book about him, if I'm not mistaken. So, uh, Gangster from Pacas was there. No, he had left already. It was Danny Boy. So, Danny Boy from East Avenue Muscle and I were going to court. And we were going to Torrance Court. And I was going to Long Beach Court. So, uh, Danny Boy. Yeah, okay. We were going to Torrance. So, we're going back to Supermax. And at this time, they had, no, yeah, the level 9s were open. Okay, so all right, so what's up, everyone? What's up, gente? I'm gonna be talking about '07 to '09 in the county, and people I'm gonna be talking about is Danny Boy from East Moss and Puppy from Lennox. Both of them were both of them locked it up. Danny Boy was selling the gang module, and Puppet was in the gang module with me when he locked it up. So, um, okay, Puppy from Lennox is Psycho from Culver City's Crime. They've been down since like '95, '96. So, in '07 they had came back from, I think, Corcoran, or Puppy came back from Corcoran to fight his case again. So he was on the team, you know, in Supermax helping out. He was a facilitator. So I was a I was K10. So I was K10, and they kicked GanG was back out to the line. Butcher was back out to the line. So I was running Supermax for a while until they level 9 me and backbox me and send me back to the county. Well, before all that had happened, I don't know if you guys ever heard Lucky from Woodstocks. He talks about Sticks from Lomas. Well, Sticks from Lomas' crimey was one of them guys, you know, and Nesha was there at the same time. So I think it was nephew had just left. Somebody had just, I think it was nephew from Artesia had just left, and so Danny Boy was trying to do his thing, you know, to get the facility. So he ends up with the facility, and we're in Supermax, right? So we're going to court or something. Yeah, we're going to court, and Danny Boy ends up finagling facilitator for Supermax. So doing this thing, and I was assisting him, just helping out. So, and I knew it was a matter of time before they were going to snatch us all up. I just knew it. So one day they had searched. No, we're going to court. We're going to court, and Danny Boy happened to bring a green bag with him, and it had somebody's property in it, but Danny Boy had his pictures in there, right, to show me. So it was just weird to see him with a green bag because it was full of stuff, right? And we were looking for this dude. So something had happened, and during court time, we were waiting for the bus to county, and the cops came in. They were searching and shit, and hold on. So they're searching, and Danny Boy had a bunch of pictures, and Danny Boy's all loaded. He's all loaded. It's like 4 a.m. This dude's loaded. It's like 4 a.m. This dude's loaded. We're all in the on the 800 floor where you go for visiting. Where we're waiting for the buses, the bus to come get us for the county. So something happened, a melee or something happened. So they searched Danny Boy because he had a bunch of it was a green bag, and Danny Boy's like 6'4". So the cop that came and searched us, his name was Orozco. He was as big as Danny Boy. He was like 6'4", big old corn-fed Mexican, big old neck, big ass dude, big ass dude. So was Danny Boy. So they're looking eye to eye, and he's looking at he's handing Danny Boy his pictures back. Because some cops will be real dicks, but if the cops been around, he's cool. He'll hand you your pictures back instead of throwing them on the floor or whatever. So that shit will kick it off right there. If a cop throws those pictures on the floor, that'll set a lot of homies off. That'll set anybody off. So he looks at the pictures, right? Orozco's like, damn, who's this? Nunez? Oh. And Danny was like, why, what's up? You think she's straight? He's like, hell yeah. So Danny was like, I could probably hook you up with her. So that fool Orozco's like, what? She's a stripper, right? So Danny Boy calls her, has her meet up with this deputy, and Orozco ends up, everything I'm saying is already been, these fools all caught cases, these dudes are all locked it up, right, everything already. So Danny Boy cracks Orozco, cracks him, right? So bam. So this is how we used to get our he was charging Danny Boy like $1,000 to bring in every glove was $1,000. No, every glove was every finger was $500. So he was charging us, but he was running. So what he would do is when he brought in the glove during count, he'll be like, hey, go to the fucking rec yard. And they'll tear up my area, and then he would go out there where I was at, and he would tell me strip out. I'll strip out, and he used to put the clavo back to my clothes, and when the cops would leave, he'll say take it home. And so that's how we were doing it for we were doing it for a few months because I ended up getting snatched up before everybody. So we were hitting huge like that, every week. So I was plugged in. So but Danny Boy was getting loaded a lot, turning into a straight marrano. But yeah, that's the boy right there. I'm not trying to down talk to him, but that's what happened. So I go to court, and me and my crimey beat up a bicep real bad. And it was like the third or fourth time that we had beat somebody up, and the ambulance had to come when we were at court. So they K-10'd me. They K-10'd me from court. And So I don't get to go back. No, my bad. I do go back because I had came back with some. I took some. I came back with a bunch of thirds and stuff. And I remember that day I had I bought this a true story. So my homeboy Thumper was in Supermax with me, my homeboy Clyde, and I brought back the thirds and I brought back all kinds of hot meal, right? But I was eating that whole day because I was blowing weed at court. So I was eating all kinds of shit. So I had a shit when I got back to Supermax. I had a shit bad because I won't shit at court. You know, it's just nasty. So I had a shit bad. I was holding it all day. I didn't get back from Supermax till like 1 o'clock in the morning before I got back to Supermax. So um, when I come back, I had to shit everything out, right? But I had diarrhea, and the whole toilet was full of shit, right? And I was like, I'm not going through that shit. And I told my homeboy Thumper and my other and some I forgot who else it was. Oh, the homie from Depa. I forgot his name, but he was from Depa. I paid him and my homeboy a gram each to go through my diarrhea and get out the clavo and all that. And they did. They got out the clavo, the third, everything. Ooh, I got nauseous right now. Mm. I remember that whole day I had diarrhea, I'm not lying. So these fools were going through my shit, I'm showering. I'm like, these fools it smells like shit. They're taking it out, putting it on paper, on newspaper. The whole fucking dorm smells like shit. I swear to God. So, bam, they get it out. I just had to tell that part of the story because it's true. So, I give these fools their grams, whatever. The next day is when they K-10'd me. The next day after court, I remember I was real cool with some CO. I mean, some sheriff named Moreno. She was bad as hell. And when people would leave that owed me money or hot money, they would call them for the for East Max or back to the county. She would get them scratched off the list for me until they paid me my money. Anybody that owed money, if you left right when you thought you were leaving, I'll get you scratched off that line. You're coming right back. That's how we had it in Supermax. So she comes up to the thing. She's like, "Hey, come here real quick, Kolar. What's up?" She was like, "Roll your stuff up." She was like, "You're going back to the county." And you only go back to the county in the middle of the day when they're gonna K-10 you, or you're gonna get an ad charge. And I was like, "Damn, am I getting an ad charge?" She said, "No, they're K-10ing you." She was like, "You did something at court yesterday, and that's that white stuff we beat up." So they K-10 me. So boom, I go from Supermax to 3500 to Fish Row. I'm in Fish Row for like 2 weeks, and then I shoot to 1750, and then from 1750 to kick me out, I went to the gang module Black Box. So I ended up going back to 242 B pod. That's when the gang module had moved. So I'm in the gang module, and Nashville pulls up from ESWilmas, and there's a change of power. And remember, it's between DBoy has Supermax, so Nashville's homeboy is such and such. So he had everything, he was blessing him. And a lot of people were talking a lot of shit about Danny Boy, like he was always loaded. He was visiting loaded. He was always loaded, but everything was getting taken care of. So Nashville ends up pulling up to the game module with us. And then bam, Danny Boy comes, and then bam, here comes Puppy. The whole team is getting snatched up. We're all in the game module. Big politicking. So Nashville and Danny Boy, we're in the same pod, and these fools are power struggling over everything in the county. They're going at it. But the thing is, I'm telling Danny Boy, like, hey, dog, you're gonna have to go ahead and park that because, old boy's saying that's him now. But Danny was like, I don't know what was going on with him, but he was my celly for a while. And they were gonna move on him, and but Nashville decided not to because that's my, I had a gang of like I had a gang of love with everybody. Like I was never in the middle. I would never take sides. So out of respect, Nestle and them, they didn't move on him yet. So I don't know what happened, but Nestle ends up going next door to A-Pop with Psycho from Longo. Me and Danny Boy go downstairs. Chucky from Rivera had just left, so we took his cell. We were next to Wacky from Inglewood. So we're all black boxed. So Danny Boy and Nestle were getting into it now on kites. They're going back and forth. So bam, we do an RC because if we're sending everything out, we're getting ready for someone's going to court. Danny Boy and Nestle will have the same court date. Danny Boy's like, hey, I'm gonna blast this fool. That's what he kept saying, and nobody paid attention to him. You know, like yeah, whatever. I mean, we shouldn't be talking like that. Well, he does. He ends up hitting Nestle the next day. When they box you, sometimes when you come back from court, they'll unlock you, and then you can walk back, you know, from the elevators back to the pod. Usually they don't unbox you unless you get into the dorm. I mean, inside your pod. But they're lazy. It's just, you know, they're lazy. So they're getting out the elevators. Bam, Danny Boy blasts him. Dogs him out. Right, bam. Danny Boy comes back. He comes back in the cell. And the cop they just spray them and go home. You know, it's the county jail, dog. It's gang modules, level 9. It's active right there. So Danny Boy comes back in my cell. We're in the cell. He pulls all like pepper spray. They won't let him take a shower. He has to bird bath and fool's fucking, you know, the smell is strong. So bam, the next day we get a new dude that walks in, and he's going to everybody's door and introducing himself. This idiot says he's a big homie. Swear to God, his name was Brandon from Songfed. And as soon as he said that, we all knew what time it was. So it took like 2 days to get the clearance that fool had to get out. You know, we had to get him out of there. So in the game module, only you and your cellie come out the program, and then the next cell comes out. But you gotta take it in before the next cell comes out. So sometimes the cop will let us all out because it's all camaradas. They'll let us all out, and that's, you know, either we'll come out and shake hands or he'll get really active. Well, this time after this fool said he was a big homie, he lets out like 5 hours. It was me, Danny Boy from ESWilmas, Topo from Dominguez, Sporty from La Mirada, Aztec from Barrio Mojados, and Solo from Dog Patch. Those are the cells that he let out. And I think what they're from ESWilmas and Shy Boy from Highland Park. No, those two were in court. They let out half the top tier, and they let out Brandon. We get with him. All of us do. We serve his ass, dog him out, everything. That he gets done dirty. So now they got us all in the hole. Danny Boy was my neighbor in the hole. He was my cellie too, you know, but he was in the hole. So they watched the videos, and the ones that weren't doing the ones they couldn't really see who was punctured, like, you know, stabbing them up, because there was so many. You know, it was a gang. It was so, and plus they didn't find no burners either. So Danny Boy tells the deputies that it was him, that he's the one that was blasting him. And the reason why is because I was about to take a deal in court, and Danny Boy knew that, and this could potentially strike me out. So this fool Danny Boy says, nah, he did it. He on his own. He says he did it. So we're like, what the hell? So they kick us all back out. No, they kick me out and Sporty out, and then Topo, whatever. Danny Boy never comes back from the hole. He I don't know what happened, but he had caught wind something was going to take place with him, and he checked in. I couldn't believe it. So when he checks in, everybody's like, "What?" Like it was like, it didn't make no sense. So Puppet from Lennox was there. And he was kind of like not smart. He was telling the truth. One thing about Puppet from Lennox, he don't get high. He was telling the truth. about what Danny Boy was doing when he was being questioned. He told the truth. So when I came back from the hole, he was like, "Where's Danny Boy?" And I was like, "Danny Boy, I think he checked in." So no. Like a whole month goes by, and I go to court, and I come back, and I was like, "Hey, puppet," I was like, remember I told you Danny Boy had blasted Nesio? Well, this fool Danny Boy, when he got to the back, before he checked in, and he was talking the to who was back there, he tells, and it was one of them guys. He tells him that Puppet is the one that made the call against Nesio. Swear to God, this fool smutted Puppet up. So now when I come back from court, I tell Puppet, "Hey, you gotta go. They want you in 1750, y'all." So that fool Puppet, he's on an appeal, Boris. He had been down for like 12 years. Puppet is solid. I thought he was solid. The nurse, I'm talking to Woody Wacky from Inglewood, and we're talking. They gave me my old cell back, so we're talking. We're sign languaging. The top doors pop, boom, boom, boom. It's like 3 in the morning. Me and this dude are fucking sign languaging, and we look because if you look at the front of the pod, you can see the windows, and you can see the top tier. So we could see the nurse stopped in front of Puppet cell, and Wacky from Inglewood is like, "That fool don't take pills," and I'm like, boom. The nurse leaves, the deputy leaves, the door pops, boom, and that fool walked out with all of his shit. I was like, me and Wacky were on our doors like, "Hey, where you going, puppy?" That fool just walked out. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" We checked in. I couldn't believe it. So, I ended up catching the chain from there to Pelican Bay. That's when I ran into old boy that I was telling you guys about when I was in the line to go to medical or whatever. This is leading up to that. Well, I ended up going to Pelican Bay, getting put on the squad. Well, I had to come back to the county for another case, so I was back in the county for like 8 months. You know, Nesho, homeboy Sticks, the one that messes with Lucky from Woodstock. This fool had told one of them guys that was there, that had been there for a while, that I knew that Danny Boy was going to stab Nesho the day they went to court, and that he felt that I should have something coming. Hey, so when I come back from the joint, I come back right into drama. Right when I get into high power, because I didn't go to game much. I went back to 1750. No, I went to 3500. So I come back to 35. No. I went to 1750. No, I didn't. I went to 242, 241 A5. I went to level 9s in the towers. Still black box. As soon as I get there that night, I got a one time. Like, hey, they're questioning me already. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, the fuck? Danny Boy. I was like, yeah, so I had to get myself out of that because Danny Boy, he told everybody, like, he didn't tell me, like, he confided in me. He was saying it. He was saying it out loud to everybody. Because he was mad. When Danny Boy used to get high, he would dance and he would be like, "I'll stab you," and he would. I remember he stabbed his crimey was his cousin Junior, and he thought Junior was telling on him. So when they were going to court, that fool he blasted him. He blasted his own cousin, and his cousin wasn't even telling him. Danny Boy, I couldn't believe he locked it up. I couldn't believe it. That was him and Puppet from Lennox, Titans, Titans, Titans. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish part 2 later. But yeah, county jail boy, gang module, high power supermax. 07 to like 09 was crazy, treacherous. Yeah, it'd be cool, be safe. Hope you guys enjoyed this one.